Alright, let's talk donkeys. For centuries, these long-eared, incredibly charming creatures have carried a reputation: stubborn. We've all heard the phrase, stubborn as a mule, right? And often, that's what we see. A donkey, standing its ground, refusing to budge, seemingly for no good reason. But what if I told you that this stubbornness isn't actually stubbornness at all? What if it's a sign of profound intelligence, strategic thinking, and a highly evolved survival mechanism? Get ready, because we're about to dive into the hilarious science behind why donkeys are nature's most misunderstood, and often, most strategic comedians. To really get this, we need to compare donkeys to their more famous equine cousins, horses. Think about a horse in a scary situation. What do? Bolt. Flight is their primary instinct. They're built for speed, designed to outrun predators across vast plains. Donkeys, on the other hand, evolved in much harsher, rockier, more mountainous terrains, often facing predators in tight spots where outrunning them wasn't always an option. This difference in their ancestral homes shaped two very different survival strategies, and it's key to understanding donkey behavior. Donkeys, or asses as they're also known, are part of the Equidae family, just like horses and zebras. But donkeys specifically descend from the African wild ass, a species known for its resilience and ability to thrive in incredibly challenging environments. This lineage means they've inherited a robust genetic blueprint for survival, one that prioritizes self-preservation above all else. Understanding this helps us frame their behaviors not as simple bad manners, but as deeply ingrained, intelligent responses that have kept their species going for millennia. It's pretty fascinating when you think about it. So, if a horse bolts, what does a donkey do? They freeze. When faced with something unfamiliar or potentially threatening, a donkey's first response is to stop dead in its tracks. They will stand perfectly still, sometimes for a surprisingly long time. This isn't out of fear, necessarily, but out of a need to assess the situation. Is that rustling bush a predator? Is that new gate truly safe to pass through? They're processing information, evaluating risks, and figuring out the best course of action. It's a strategic pause, not a panic attack, which is wild, by the way. This freeze response, combined with their strong survival instincts, often manifests in behaviors that we humans misinterpret as stubbornness. Here are some classic examples. They might refuse to cross a puddle, or walk over a shadow, or step onto an unfamiliar surface. They might suddenly stop on a trail, or dig their heels in when you try to lead them somewhere new. To us, it's an inconvenience, an arbitrary defiance. We think, just go, donkey. But to the donkey, these are all moments of intense cognitive processing, not just them being difficult. Instead of stubbornness, what we're actually witnessing is a donkey's incredibly sophisticated risk assessment system in action. Their survival in harsh environments depended on making smart, calculated decisions. A tiny shadow could be a ditch. A muddy puddle could hide a dangerous obstacle. Their wild ancestors couldn't afford to make hasty decisions. A wrong step could mean injury, or worse. So, they evolved to stop, look, listen, and think before proceeding. It's not defiance, it's a careful evaluation, which is, honestly, super smart. Adding to their intelligence is their incredible memory. Donkeys have an excellent long-term memory, especially when it comes to places, people, and experiences, both good and bad. They can remember routes, water sources, and other donkeys for years. This isn't just a party trick, it's crucial for their survival. Remembering which path leads to safe grazing or which human was kind to them allows them to make informed decisions in the future. If a route was once problematic, they'll remember and be reluctant to repeat the experience, which makes total sense from their perspective. Because of their sharp memory, donkeys are fantastic at learning from experience. If they've had a negative encounter somewhere, or if they tried something once that resulted in discomfort or danger, they will remember it vividly. This means they are less likely to make the same mistake twice. While a horse might bolt through a scary situation repeatedly if spooked, a donkey might simply refuse to approach it again, even if you try to force them. They've learned, and they're sticking to their learned conclusion. It's efficient, if a bit inconvenient for us sometimes. So, when a donkey refuses to budge, it's often because they've evaluated the situation and decided, based on their experience and instincts, that moving forward carries an unacceptable risk. It's not a direct challenge to your authority, it's a self-preservation mechanism kicking in. They're basically saying, "Hold on a second, Chief. This doesn't feel right, and I'm not moving until I'm convinced it's safe." And honestly, when you put it that way, it makes them sound less stubborn and more like cautious, independent thinkers, right? Who can blame them? Let's think about the cognitive steps happening in a donkey's brain. First, they encounter a novel stimulus or a perceived obstacle. Second, they halt and engage their senses, vision, hearing, smell. Third, they access their memory banks, comparing the current situation to past experiences. Fourth, they perform a rapid risk assessment, safe or unsafe. Fifth, they make a decision, proceed, or refuse to move. This entire process can happen in seconds, and it's a testament to their intelligence, not a lack thereof. It's a complex chain of thought, not just a simple no. Beyond just survival, donkeys also display significant emotional intelligence and form strong social bonds. They recognize individuals, both donkey and human, and show preferences. They can grieve the loss of a companion and remember those who have been kind or unkind to them. This emotional depth means they aren't just reacting to physical threats, they're also responding to their social environment. A stressed or confused donkey might also shut down, which can appear as stubbornness, but it's really a plea for clarity and safety. They are more complex than we often give them credit for. Another aspect of their intelligence is their incredible power of observation. Donkeys are constantly watching their environment and the creatures within it. They pick up on subtle cues from humans, like our body language, tone of voice, and even our intentions. If you're nervous or unsure, a donkey will sense it and might become more cautious themselves. This makes them excellent partners for people who are calm and clear, but can lead to frustration if you're not consistent. They're reading *U* just as much as you're trying to read them. So, when a donkey digs their heels in, it's not a direct challenge to your authority, it's their way of saying, "I don't trust this situation." It's like their personal, four-legged pause button. They're designed to keep themselves safe first and foremost. This means that coercion or force rarely works, and often backfires, solidifying their distrust. You can't just bully a donkey into doing something, they're not built that way. Their instinct to stop and assess is stronger than any desire to please us, which, in a way, is kind of admirable. Understanding a donkey means learning to read their subtle communication cues. They'll tell you if they're unsure long before they dig their heels in. Look for ears turning back, a lowered head, a tense body, or even a slight tremor. These are all signals that they're processing a potential threat or discomfort. A truly happy and relaxed donkey will have soft eyes, relaxed ears, and an overall calm demeanor. Paying attention to these signals is key to building trust and working harmoniously with them. Given their intelligent and cautious nature, training a donkey requires a very different approach than, say, a dog or even a horse. Force is counterproductive. Instead, it's all about patience, consistency, and positive reinforcement. You need to build trust slowly, convincing them that you are a reliable leader who won't put them in harm's way. Break tasks down into tiny, manageable steps, and celebrate every small success. It's a dance of trust and respect, where the donkey gets to make choices, and you guide them towards the right ones. It actually makes you a better communicator. Donkeys are also incredibly good at problem solving, especially when motivated. If there's a reward or a desirable outcome, they can figure out complex latches, gates, or even pathways to get what they want. They might seem slow to learn at first, but once they get it, they rarely forget. This capacity for strategic thinking isn't just about avoiding danger, it's about actively navigating their world to achieve their goals. It's not just about saying no, but also about figuring out how to get to the yes on their own terms, which is totally endearing. A surprising application of their intelligent stubbornness and territorial instincts is their role as guardian animals. Many farmers use donkeys to protect livestock like sheep, goats, or even cattle from predators. Their innate cautiousness makes them excellent sentinels. They'll often spot a threat long before other animals. And their refusal to flee, combined with their powerful kick and loud bray, can be a formidable deterrent to coyotes, dogs, and even bigger predators. It's their strategic self-preservation extended to their adopted herd, which is pretty amazing. So, the next time you see a donkey refuse to move, remember, it's not simply being stubborn. It's engaging in a complex, multi-layered process of assessment, memory recall, and risk management. Their no is a carefully considered decision, rooted deeply in their evolutionary history. It's a statement of self-preservation and independent thought, not defiance. They prioritize their safety and well-being, which is actually a sign of incredibly high intelligence. They are often just trying to survive and make the best decision possible, and who can argue with that? We've often underestimated donkeys, labeling them as simple, stubborn beasts of burden. But the reality is far more nuanced and, frankly, much funnier to witness once you understand it. Their stubbornness is their brain working overtime, running scenarios, checking for threats, and making intelligent choices. They are truly unsung intellectuals of the animal kingdom, disguised under a comical veneer of steadfast refusal. It's why working with them can be so uniquely rewarding. You have to earn their trust and understand their genius. So, what's the takeaway? If you want to work successfully with donkeys, you need to ditch the idea of forcing them. Instead, foster an environment of trust and clarity. Here are some tips. Be patient, explain things clearly, even verbally. They pick up tone, show them things are safe, and give them time to process. Respect their need to assess situations, and always offer positive reinforcement. Once they trust you and understand what's being asked, you'll find donkeys to be incredibly willing, loyal, and yes, still hilariously cautious companions. And where does the comedian part come in? Well, once you understand their strategic caution, their refusal to move over a leaf or their dramatic halter to change in pavement becomes less frustrating and more, well, funny. Their serious, deliberate processing of the most mundane things can be absolutely priceless. You find yourself laughing at their intense focus on a rogue pebble. It's their utterly earnest, unwavering commitment to their personal risk assessment that makes them such wonderfully quirky and entertaining companions. They're basically method actors of the animal world, always in character. So, next time you encounter a donkey, take a moment to appreciate the complex, intelligent being beneath that calm exterior. Their stubbornness isn't a flaw, it's a testament to their deep evolutionary wisdom and survival instincts. They are thinking, feeling creatures who deserve our respect and understanding. They might not always do what we want, when we want it, but that's part of their charm and their genius. Donkeys aren't stubborn, they're just really, really smart. And maybe a little bit hilarious. Thanks for watching, and stay curious.